Nico Iamaleava and UCLA, they're not a one-hit wonder.
You are Locked On UCLA, your daily podcast on the UCLA Bruins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome, everybody, to this edition of Locked On UCLA Reaction Edition. Thanks for making this show your first listen each and every day. It's free wherever you get your podcast, and it's available on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, download. Thanks for your support. Getting up on a Saturday morning, we're the Bruins. Going down to East Lansing and putting a pound in and getting things done against Michigan State. All right? You blink, you're like, oh, wow. It almost seems like the similar things happening. Now, mind you, UCLA made some adjustments with what needed to happen from last week versus Penn State. A lot more mistakes also happened for UCLA. But in every facet, offense, defense, special teams, Niko, UCLA, Tim Skipper, Jerry Neuheisel, Kevin Coyle, everything coming together, the Bruins made plays. They were making plays, and they're looking like a competent football team. Now, a little early on, it was like, yeah, Michigan State's coming out. UCLA looks ugly, penalty. And then after a weird fourth down call by Michigan State, I think it was okay to go for it, but a bad play call, and the momentum shifted. UCLA racing with what, like a 24 unanswered points at the end of the first half to come through, and could have been 27. That was the one blip on the special teams in that first half. And then UCLA holding on, all right, doing what needed to be done to win this game. Man, UCLA was a team that you didn't know. You didn't know what they could showcase on tape. Remember, it's one thing to go against Penn State where they didn't spy Niko. Penn State refused to spy Niko. And then all of a sudden, Michigan State's like, yeah, we're not going to do the same dumb thing that James Franklin and company did last week, which was to not adjust during the game. Michigan State came in, coached up, and Tim Skipper, playing with a lot of house money, even more so after that Penn State win, is continuing to gamble, continuing to make the right plays, saying, all right, let's push the right buttons, and it's leading to UCLA wins now in impressive fashion. Remember, this is a 9 a.m. LA time kickoff. That is where West Coast teams and their football chances to win go to die. Teams just don't go to the Eastern time zone, go multiple time zones away, and win at 9 a.m. their body clock time. We've seen so many times that Mick Cronin, the basketball team, complain. No, Tim Skipper we're not a one-hit wonder. We are not. And UCLA came out and said, man, we are flipping the narrative. Last year, UCLA had to start 1-5 before a massive turnaround to end the season. And this one looked even uglier through the first 4 games of the season. And then Niko, and right when I'm about to think, oh, game manager, he's a game manager right now. It was a good one-hit wonder performance against Penn State. No, dots some throws that's like, yep, that's what get the scouts tantalizing. That's where the tampering's going to come in the portal, even though it's not going to hit till January 26th. The tampering's already going to begin. The NFL scouts might be calling when you start seeing some of the throws he's putting on tape in this game. And the other thing is, the defense is making some plays. A pass rush that couldn't get home is containing, for the most part, a mobile quarterback. And now I know Aiden Childs, it seemed like he was shaking his hands, and I know he got taken out in the last week. So I wonder what that might happen in terms of moving forward. But I mean, hey, UCLA forcing a fumble, getting home on the quarterback, and just the ability for the UCLA Bruins to make in-game adjustments, and make this one, wow, they can win. They go on the road and win in the Eastern time zone. And as they kept saying throughout the broadcast, like, wait, this is the first time UCLA's played in a raucous environment. A year ago, they went to Hawaii. And they're like, okay, raucous environment, very small. Then you go to LSU. And then you go to a packed-out Rutgers game. And then they continued to build throughout the season where almost every game UCLA played was a sellout. This year, it's a little different. Minimal crowd against UNLV, or not a minimal, but not full potential. Minimal crowd in the smallest stadium, I think, at all of FBS, in the makeshift one that Northwestern has. And then UCLA obviously playing for the home crowd. They go from a raucous environment, handle the adversity, and come out better for it. Because there's only going to be more energetic environments, hopefully, for the rest of the season at the Rose Bowl. Because, man, oh man, the Bruins are getting the job done. Unlike what we've ever seen before for this year's team. It was bad. It was bad early. It was horrible early in 2024. And now Niko and company, man, proving everybody, including myself, wrong with what we thought the career move might make. Now, if UCLA ends up going 2-10, maybe it's going to end up more accurate. But I would hope that preseason bet I made with Spencer McLaughlin of Locked On College Football is still in play. I would love to see him don a Niko jersey. That would be awesome. Now it's going to take the greatest single season turnaround one could make for a UCLA football program. But man, Tim Skipper, he's hearing those on-through reports from Pete Nakos saying, hey, Jed Fish, the UCLA coaching committee, seems like a happy reunion, a happy marriage in the coaching search. Tim Skipper's like, bro, your best candidate is right here. And maybe there's a small chance you could go out there and keep Niko. I know one of the last episodes I did on this channel, at the end I was talking with Spencer, maybe he might tease the NFL draft, and maybe that's something he wants. But if he wants to grow that stock and elevate himself even more, and if UCLA somehow that destination that keeps him back home, making more opportune, getting more NIL opportunities, rebuilding the image, man, what if he comes back a year? That'd be crazy with what the whole situation's turned out to be. In just 2 to 3 weeks, think of what I've been saying. Horrible, awful, no way. And then, hey, now we have to be real. There will be chances of tampering. Their teams are going to be calling. The NFL is starting to, look what's happening at UCLA. How much is Niko a part of that? And Niko, he's going to have to make a decision at the end of the year. But right now, he's chosen to become a leader in the locker room with the post-game quotes last week saying, hey, yes, if you want to leave, stay here. Let's build something for the rest of 2025. Kudos to him, because everything I've heard is he's a great guy. But now he's coming out and showcasing that vocally in terms of the on-field leadership, in terms of leading the team in the presser, in terms of everything, and also the throws for this team that he's making in every play. Now, it didn't happen with dynamic, almost 200, 300 yards rushing, a lot of it from Niko, but the run game was good. Niko showcasing some throws to make me not say game manager was literally choking out of my mouth. Game manager, no. He was making some plays. Now, was it the dynamic craziness that it seemed like everything was hitting for Jerry Neuheisel against Penn State? No. There are things to clean up. And the job for Tim Skipper is to make sure that doesn't happen again in the next week against Maryland team who UCLA should feast on, with them making the full coast-to-coast trip. All of a sudden, you're looking at 3 straight wins and a chance for a UCLA team that I thought might go winless, absolutely winless in this season, and they have a chance to get themselves within a game of 500. Yes, now Indiana will be a tough trip. You got quite a gauntlet of November games. All those games we thought could have been gimmies in the early non-conference stretch. You wish UCLA could have gotten back. But instead, look at this team now. I've never seen a team that looks so horrible and then all of a sudden come out and play like it's done. You got to give the credit to the big boys and Jerry and Coyle coming out of nowhere and taking up for a beloved Ikaika Malloy and getting this team with a new strategy defensively. Even Noah Mazzoni coming as an offensive analyst, influencing the schematic changes and allowing Jerry to have a different repertoire to use and to play call. And then Niko, man, the most talked about, most maligned player in college football, and he's come through and made plays and helped turn this team around with the most energetic coach I have seen in this season, which is Tim Skipper. The most positive dude that even if he's faking it till he makes it, man, UCLA's turned this thing around. Craziness for UCLA and the whole football program. I'm at a loss for words. Goodness. Can they keep it going? Stay tuned on Locked On UCLA. We'll talk about it all week. And there's still going to be more coaching rumors. So we'll see if Tim Skipper is going to do enough to keep this job permanently, or if UCLA saying, no, this is fool's gold. Stay tuned for that on future Locked On UCLA episodes. Well, it's the weekend, and it's time to look back and crown this week's MVP on Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. And just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every time you order, these players delivered when it matters most. Let's break it down. For UCLA, It was Nico Iamaleava the last couple of weeks, and heck, it's Jalen Berger making plays against his former team and delivering in a big way. Berger, couple of big-time plays. You're like, wow. And then Niko continuing to do it week after week. So he's on a streak. And Berger, he did it at times last year, 24, and got to take it to Michigan State today. So when you think the pressure is on, both Niko and Jalen came through, no hesitation, no delay. They've been watching week after week. These performances were not a fluke. Nico Iamaleava and Jalen Berger on a streak. And just like Niko and Jalen for UCLA, DoorDash delivers your Saturdays with DoorDash streaks. Every time you save and Saturday you order, stack it up all season, and you can save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday. Keep the streak alive by fueling your game day only with DoorDash. Terms apply. Promo code available through November 18th. Maybe you got to go run over to FanDuel now because UCLA is building something special. And if you can realize that all these lines are not going to favor the Bruins, especially that Michigan State one about a touchdown, a little over a touchdown, you could have picked the UCLA Bruins to cover or gone money line. And that's why if you're a new customer, you put your $5 down, you get $300 in bonus bets, and you'll win. That's right. Pick a bet, hit with $5, put it down, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Well, that's going to do it for us here on Locked On UCLA. Busy week. UCLA with an exhibition in basketball coming up soon. Coaching searches, Niko's resurgence, everything. Let's get a clap for this UCLA team. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. UCLA. UCLA, fight, fight, fight. This has been Locked On UCLA. Zach signing off. And with everybody in unison, go Bruins.